Dan with Guardian Mold Prevent here. I wanted to take a look with you at a home that's located in Winfield, Illinois. And this is an example of what we see on a fairly regular basis in basements that take on water. And in this basement, it wasn't a lot of water that got in. You can see some of the paneling is discolored at the bottom. There's some mold that has developed on the side of the door jamb, the side of the cabinets down here. And as we pan around, you'll see that mold has developed on several spots on the walls, but all of it is low. And basically, what happened is the sump pump here failed, and about a half-inch of water got in. It wasn't in the basement very long, but it doesn't take a whole lot of time for moisture to wick up the capillaries of the gypsum in the drywall, the chalky material in between the paper. And once that paper gets wet, especially in areas where there's trim, that wood trim that's up against the wall that holds that moisture in, it doesn't take very long for mold to start to develop. Now, this is a home that was foreclosed on. It's sitting vacant, and the bank is trying to get this property back in shape in order to get the home sold and get somebody living in there. Now, this isn't consistent with a lot of the videos that we show in foreclosures. Most of the time, it's a total disaster. So this may mirror something that's very similar, a small amount of mold growing on a wall that you may have in your home that you're concerned about. Now, when we come into a project like this, the first thing that we do is we try to determine what type of materials are present. We look for porous materials, which are drywall, trim, insulation, carpeting, pressboard, and then we look for semi-porous materials, so framing members that are present. And the last category is non-porous materials. So basically, it would be your basement foundation walls and floors. The reason we classify these materials is because we treat them differently when putting together a scope of work. The first thing we do in terms of work is we set up a containment area or plastic sheeting to divide off the affected area from the rest of the living space. We then put in an air scrubber, or it's called a negative air machine, to create negative air pressure to run all the air through HEPA filtration. We physically remove and discard all of the materials that are porous, and then we treat both the semi-porous and non-porous materials with a biocide and then a white acrylic-based mold-resistant coating. Now, once remediation is finished, you can see that all of the paneling, all of the drywall, all the trim, the insulation, all the porous materials are completely removed and discarded from the basement. And then once we get it down to foundation walls, foundation floors, stud framing, we then treat all of those surfaces with a biocide, which again is a product that kills mold on contact. We then physically scrub those surfaces down to prepare them for the acrylic coating that goes on, and then we treat those surfaces with the acrylic-based mold-resistant coating. The entire time we're working, we run the air machines, and then we also leave those air machines run once the project is finished for a day or two to run all the air through HEPA filtration. So when we turn this property back over to the bank, the surfaces will be clean, the air will be clean, and they can either restore it or sell the basement as is, but not have to worry about the air quality. We run those HEPA filter machines are what will set apart a mold remediation company from just Joe Handyman.